Hey guys, guess what? When I do this, since I'm in Discord with Phantom and my guest, Phantom hears all of it. And I'm so sorry for Arrow, as they hear it. But honestly, it's really funny that it's for Phantom, because Phantom doesn't like it. But anyway, you guys know what time it is. It is 6 minutes past the hour. On a dark and rather cold, snowy Friday night for me. Where it is for all of you, I'm not aware, but I hope the weather is good. Because sucky weather is sucky. So without further ado, my voice just kind of cracked a little bit. So, my buddy Phantom, how's the weather? How's the weather down there for you? Yeah? Oh?
I wish it were snow. I think we're getting snow this weekend instead. But it was a lot.
You know, it do be like that. Cause like especially where I live. What do you mean muted?
I was just wondering that.
I see it coming in. What? I see it coming. You're gonna hear double, guys. Speak, Phantom.
Oh God.
I see it coming.
Yeah, I'm speaking.
You're
This
gonna
is
double,
me, and I talk and I speak and I do all sorts of fun
Phantom.
things. And you know, one of my favorite things. He was muted when he initially spoke.
Oh no, it must have been Discord then.
Weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's super odd.
Okay, I need to turn this off because I'm gonna start replying to you like 3 seconds late and replying to myself, which is the most insane thing I could do.
Yeah. Gosh dang it. I need to turn that off for this shit.
Already? We just started. Oh, I have to listen to this.
I need to get a command on a side note. That I'm getting pelted like a speed bag. I need to get a.
Oh my God.
I need to get a Twitch thing, like a timer. Let's see.
A timer. Like one, like so it will turn on your commands after a stream starts.
No. So because the thing is, smack my head, refund me. I will do it for you.
Smack my wait. Hold on. Smack my head. It's shake my head. It's shaking my head.
Can't. Oh no, don't worry. I will do it. And so the reason why I did that is that it's not refundable is just because of what it does to my throat. Because it absolutely racks my throat whenever I do it. Like I will do it for 2 minutes just for you off. Just because of that. And Phantom here.
Oh, that's what you meant by the timer.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Brandon.
He said end of stream and he got you.
So I might be a little quiet with this, just because again, I have roommates. So I might be a little quiet with this, and that's because it's 7 p.m. Whereas if it's 2 p.m., I could shout to my heart's content on a weekend day or a weekday. You're just gonna keep going with it. Anywho, where was I? Timer. 2 minutes. I said I would do 2. All right, I'll do 1. That's fine. Anyway, our wonderful, wonderful co-host. Oh, what do you want from me? You're interrupting us. Precious redeem. But anyway, today's episode of the VOD, I am safe to say that I am so unbelievably happy for. That is because I started to update quite a few things. Now, again, I apologize if my Gilbert Gottfried is not as the best. I'm trying to keep it down, and I think I could do a lot better. So anyway, I feel like that's a lot better, and I hope my roommates don't hate me because of this. Phantom, how are you doing?
I'm hanging in there. I'm hanging in there. I mean, this is my favorite thing is when I have to listen to the ghost of Gilbert Godfrey scream at me for an entire 60 seconds.
You know what you'll get from me, because now I'm just sounding like abridged Napa.
Yeah.
I'm so, I guess for the impressions that I will, those should actually be on a refund basis.
They should.
They should, and I thought they were originally. Now the RRs, those are not refundable. I'm sorry, RRs are not refundable.
Hey, you get like 3 for the price of 1. Of course they're not refundable.
So anyway, I'll give you a free. There you go. That's for you. So, I'm back on track before I get off track again. This is, what is this, our second week of the year? Yeah, it's our second week of the year.
Yeah.
How's 2024 treating you, my friend?
I mean, you just made me do math on a Friday. Why would you do that? It's going fine.
I got you off. That's wonderful. I have to ask though, are you ready to just do nothing but Elden Ring streams every Monday?
I actually think I'm gonna end up having to do Elden Ring streams like all day, every day.
Yeah.
Unless Gollum keeps having unbelievable glitches and my house keeps flooding when I try to play it.
Have you been playing that?
I did, yeah. I've been playing it. It's my first community goal.
Please tell me about it.
I can tell you about it later because we have a guest to get to.
We do.
And yeah. And we should talk about them because I am super excited for this guest because I have not had many interactions with them. And I don't know why I said many. I've had no interaction with this guest before, and I feel like every time I get to meet a new guest from the show where you brought them on, you're just like, yep, I know that Phantom's going to be able to knock this out of the park, and I get to meet these super cool people. It happened with Lord Rexworth, it happened with J-Droid, it happened with Nochu. Like there's so many cool people that I get to meet through this show, and I'm sure that you have a very similar feeling when I bring someone on board that you haven't had the chance to really have like extensive interactions with. And it's like it's the absolute best, especially when I just jump in voice chat and we start talking about world clocks for like 15 minutes straight.
I'm sorry, the Gilbert Gottfried was still attacking me.
I'm sure.
Oh my gosh. I also realized I still had that open, that stream, like share screen thing in Discord. Yeah, that's one of the highlights that I get to have with this is there are so many VTubers I would not have met otherwise had I not done this, and today's guest is certainly no exception. Because recently they've told me is that they have a 3D model now, which is super cool. Like in my opinion, I think every VTuber should have a 3D model just because it is a lot of fun to have all that tracking and that a little more natural movement. Because if I turn my head, I turn that, you can see everything is much more, I wouldn't say pleasing, the rigging can be a little easier to do in terms of realism because you're working with a 3D model as opposed to a 2D with all the moving parts. And so not only that, it offers a lot of people good flexibility if they are very animated. Not to mention there's a lot of free resources to making 3D models too. So, it's certainly always fun to see whomever debut with a 3D model, and I will always be there for that. So, with that said and with that in mind, you know what I have to talk about because I do it at the beginning, introducing all of my wonderful guests. So, today we welcome a celestial bubble VTuber. Now, she is a variety streamer that streams anything from gaming to crafting, Lego building, for those of you who like Legos out there, and even hosting her own interview show. I wonder if it's similar to this one. Ooh. So it seems that she's...
For her sake, I hope not.
That's true. I mean, I'd feel bad for anybody who has the mug that I have on my desk sitting right next to you.
Yeah, look at that thing.
But yeah, this wonderful individual has traveled throughout the galaxy to join us tonight. So let's please show her a warm welcome here on Earth and in the studio for the VOD. Please welcome our wonderful guest today, Erosita. Woo! Hold on. I need to get a little better at this. Where is it?
We need the canned cheer. Oh my god, though.
Just the Discord cheers. I think there's I can like play transition sounds as well.
Like a stinger. Yeah, you can do something like that.
Yeah. But anywho, how are you doing today, Erosita?
I am doing just great. You know, I woke up from a nap earlier, so I'm a little sleepy, but I'm doing good. How about you guys?
We are just vibing.
So jealous of that nap.
Oh no.
I should have. I played Elden Ring instead. I'm so stupid.
Oh.
You know, I feel like given the alternative, I feel like Elden Ring is very good for the soul, especially when you need sleep. Because at that point, you're just too invested in the game and you just want to continue on and just power through everything and then go for another 42-hour stream, you know?
It's better for the runes than the souls, but you know, I mean, that's pretty noob stance.
Yes, it is. Well, because I always seem to get off topic and I always seem to sometimes forget my very first question. So I'll jump right into it. So, Arrow, this is the first and, in my opinion, the most important question I always ask at the beginning of every show. And that is, who are you and what is your story?
Oh God. As you've said, I'm Erosita, and I'll basically explain, I guess, what I am as a VTuber first, because people often are confused as to what a celestial bubble is. So me being a big old nerd, if you actually look up Erosita in Google, it is a picture taking taken of our entire galaxy, and that picture was in the shape of a bubble, so it's called the Erosita bubble. It's very interesting. And that's kind of what I got the inspiration to make, you know, my whole design and character based off of. And yeah, I debuted back in September, I believe. So yeah, I'm still a baby VTuber, but yeah, I do a lot of variety streams, mainly gaming, but I'm starting to dabbling into like the crafting side.
Can you talk about a little bit, like what kind of crafting?
Ooh, like model making, trying to do some more painting as well. And yeah, just trying to be more hands-on this year.
See, my good friend, one of my best friends does a lot of, like, he's really into Warhammer, and so he loves the whole the whole building aspect of Warhammer. But when it comes to the painting, that's when he starts to like lose some strength in, because he's like, oh my goodness, there's so much that goes into painting. And just like he's like a mechanical engineer, and so, you know, something like that for him can certainly be a little hard. But like in your experience, like what kind of model making do you like to do?
Well, kind of if you look on Amazon, there's like these little book nook things. Also, I'm so sorry, I don't know why my expressions are going all out of whack, but there's book nook like creations type 3D puzzles, and those are pretty cool to put together.
Do you think there's any like other models outside of things that you kind of want to experience with? Because like, for instance, I've always heard things about Gunpla models, and if I remember correctly, I believe Gunpla models are what? It's just Gundams.
I probably will dabble a little bit into like, you know, actual models. But for now, I like miniature sculptures, I guess you can call them.
So when you do these model making streams, do you do so with your VTuber and then like do like a hand cam or something, or you know, what's the process with this?
For sure. Yeah. Usually, if I had the means, I would have my 2 cameras set up. But for right now, I would just use my PNG and then the hand cam, which would show the model.
That's interesting, because like I've actually been seeing a lot more VTubers these days who are doing these kinds of streams where they're, because I remember back in the day with streaming when like a VTuber showed their hands and everyone was like, oh, they're showing their hands.
The flesh.
The hands. It still happens. Don't worry. You'll switch over to the cam view and everybody's like, oh my god, you have hands.
Like I can only imagine that if I showed my hands on stream, they'd just be they'd probably just make fun of me because like my hands are just pretty pasty. And like I just have big hands, and so just be like, haha, you just got big hands. I'm like, oh, okay. But like,
it's okay. Every time that I have forgotten to wear socks on stream, which has been just about every time, people have absolutely pointed it out and not let it go.
I know, I'm one of those people.
Yep. Oh, I know who you are. There's a list.
So there's a list. If you see those streams, if you look next to my feet, there's also a black journal.
The death note is right there.
Yes, just out of spite, you write their names in the death note with your feet.
Oh god, I'd hate that, dude. I can't imagine trying to write with my feet. I feel like penmanship is so like important. I can't stand when you can't read like someone's handwriting. That's a pet peeve of mine.
So do you know what shorthand is?
I mean, like, are you just talking about like writing things like abbreviated?
No, so shorthand is actually a written form of I don't know if there's like for a lot of languages, but there is for English. And shorthand writing is something that courts, like, it originated with court stenographers. And it's kind of like you know, the language of the unknown, like in Pokemon.
Oh yeah.
So shorthand is essentially what like is like the real world version of the language of the unknown from Pokemon. Let me pull up like what shorthand looks like. And the reason why it's called shorthand, I just opened Steam. The reason why it's called shorthand is...
Arrow, can you believe this? He's trying to game while
yes,
on the
I
talk
am.
show. He's trying to host a talk show and game.
Yes, I am.
We are just boring him that much. I can't believe it.
I'm sorry. But yeah, so it's just called shorthand because it's just easier and faster to do compared to longhand, which is when you do normal traditional writing. That's called longhand. And the whole thing is there are different versions of shorthand as well. But when you write in this, it's meant to be, you write incredibly quickly so you're able to recount every letter that's being and word that's being said in a courtroom. So if you look at the stream text chat, I just sent you a picture of what shorthand can look like. It's wild, is it not?
Ooh.
Like, let me pull this up for, you know, for those who have not seen it. So there's that. Oh, it's the picture is still on the jouch. Ain't that nice?
The jouch.
Yeah. So this right here is hello, Devil. Welcome. Hope you're here to support our wonderful guest today. Sorry if your chat is covered. We're looking at this. So this right here, this is shorthand, and it looks like a bunch of gobbledygook. But I assure you, this is a legitimate language of writing. Why, of course, I'm here to support my wonderful friend. Good. Your wonderful friend is awesome.
With how important it is to keep court documents accurate and contemporaneous, I can't imagine, absolutely cannot imagine what a shit show that's gotta be when you're like trying to like be like, all right, well, like they said he didn't say it, but I know it's in the transcript, pull it out, and then you just see a heart monitor on like some freaking college ruled notebooks. I would literally die if I opened a composition book and I saw that. I think my teachers would kill me.
Look, all I can say is that my best friend, who I've known for a long time in my life, he was given a shorthand, like an old school shorthand book as a birthday present by his father. And he took that and ran with it, and he can write in shorthand really well, to the point he actually has a signature in shorthand. Is that wild?
How would you do
Fancy.
that?
I don't know. It makes as much sense to me as somebody who is writing, well, cursive is already just, you can, a signature is already more or less cursive. But like, I don't know. I cannot imagine that, because I already can't read cursive that well. I can read it, but like, it just, if the handwriting is not good. Like, for instance, I have a letter that was written by my mom to me, a really heartfelt letter, and by golly, she wrote it in cursive. And so it's one of those things where I read it, I'm like, yay, I understand that what does that sentence say? But thankfully the parts that she wrote that are just like normal, she made sure to specify, because I told her, I'm like, oh, I can't really read cursive because American education system.
Yeah, they told us that if we didn't write in cursive past the 3rd grade, they would fail everything. They're like, yep, once you get to middle school, you're not going to be able to turn in assignments that are in cursive. Got the middle school, they're like, well, you can still write and print now, but if you don't write in cursive in high school, they're going to fail you out. We got to high school, and they're like, please, for the love of God, do not write in cursive. I can't read a single thing you people write. And then I never wrote in cursive again.
What are your thoughts on this, Arrow?
I suck at cursive, so I never tried.
How's your print?
My print's pretty decent, but I mean, I could do cursive. It's just not like the best.
Oh, that's fair. Cursive is one of those things where, like, if you know how to write it, that's fantastic. But think about how many times in your life you're actually going to read or like write like that. Because I think my dad, my twin brother, and my mom were really the only people I knew in my life that wrote cursive. Like, my father, he doesn't have to, like, he knows how to write cursive. He writes in block letters because he worked as a draftsman back in the 70s, in the late 70s and early 80s. He worked as a draftsman for a defense contractor where he designed blueprints, and he freehanded all of his block lettering designs, and they're like the straightest thing you could ever imagine. And
Yep, my dad was a contractor, and he has stencil writing.
That's exactly what my dad has.
Like,
wait, is your dad my dad?
Is your dad named Joe?
No, his name's
everyone knows that my dad's name is Joe.
No, his name's Chris.
Damn. Joe and Chris, JC, the good old JC duo.
JC Joestar.
JC Joestar, Jesus.
No, not JC Joestar, Jesus. JC Joestar. I'm sorry, we're done with that. I like cursive writing, especially for writing letters and art journaling. Yeah, it can be a lot of fun. So, moving a little bit back, since you're branching out a little more, and you were talking about how you like to do model making and crafting on stream, you also talked about Legos. And is that like just has that been a long-standing hobby and passion that you've had? Like, because for instance, for me, I grew up with Legos, but like I've never gotten a Lego set for my birthday or Christmas, and so I don't know the passion, the joy of getting a Lego set as a gift.
Well, funnily enough, growing up, I never played with Legos. I've had friends who did, but I never like actually indulged until my adulthood, where it became like a trend kind of. So just going to Target and seeing all the cool Lego sets that they got nowadays, I just had to try it out.
Did you ever go ahead?
No, go ahead.
Did you ever get into things?
I'll go ahead.
Okay. Vocaloid Pog. I'm sorry, I had to.
Oh no.
Sorry.
What is the Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I just love the name Vocaloid Pog.
Very good name. Pog to me is just one of those things where it's like I said it ironically at first, and now I just think it's a funny word, and so I use it way more than I should. But I was gonna ask Arrow, what is the most expensive Lego set you bought?
So far, I've been trying to keep my head like on a swivel because they are very expensive.
Mm.
So I think the most expensive one I bought right now was like a 3-in-1 set, and it had like a tiger, a lion, some other stuff like that. But it was like for $40. It was a decent
Oh, so you're reserved. You're
build.
actually playing it smart.
Thank you, Crunchy Pickle, for following.
I almost folded the other day though, because I walked down the aisle and I saw a giant Optimus Prime set, and I almost got it. It was like 100 plus, but I just couldn't.
Yeah.
Couldn't.
I see.
Just couldn't do it.
Honest.
That's you know what you do? You make a throne and you put it on there, and then like you just keep going. Eventually, someone will fund it.
Eventually, one can pray.
Two things.
Yeah, exactly.
Two things. Firstly, thank you guys for the follows. Fun fact, I get 50 cans of Dr. Pepper thrown at me, and when you follow, you also get a free 300 points, which you can use, I think, 220 of that to throw 50 more Dr. Peppers. So even more incentive to follow. I just have to throw that out there because people really like throwing Dr. Peppers. Secondly, is there a set that, see, this person gets it. My gosh. Is there, you just did a singular one.
Oh. I see.
Now the question is there like a specific set that if you could, regardless of money, say you have all the money in the world, what do you want to get? Like, what is that one mystical Lego set that you could get?
There is,
my gosh,
there's a giant typewriter one. I have like a IRL typewriter, and I think it would be so cool to have like the Lego set to go with it. So I definitely want to get that one as well.
Do
Phantom?
you have an actual typewriter, like a usable typewriter, or just like one of those things where you walk around and people are like, "Oh shit, what is this?" And you're like, "That, my lovely little millennial, is called a typewriter."
Oh my gosh.
And then you
It's a legitimate whole typewriter where you put ink in it and everything, makes the click clacks and the little dings when you're done with the line. It's beautiful.
So
that would drive me crazy.
My gosh. Thank you, Vocaloid Pug. Your name will always be the best. Ah, look, see? They had to join in on the fun.
Everyone does.
So, you know, I have a story. I have a little story about when I was little. And Val, can you buy me the retired Bugatti Chiron? I'm used to the Bugatti Veyron set for our anniversary. Hold on, you're not supposed to tell people about our anniversary. Anyway. So I have a little story to share. And this is kind of, this forever, it changed my opinion on Legos. So imagine Val at the tender age of like 10, 11 years old, okay? Now, Val would work with his father out in the yard mowing the lawn and edging the grass and picking up leaves and pulling weeds. Now, Val would do this every weekend with his father. And Val would get $10. Or no, it was $5 at first, because when I got older, that's when my dad started giving me more money. You doing what to the grass? Get out of here. Speak of the devil Lego ad, that's really funny. So, sorry. So when I got $5 one day. I got $5 from my dad, right? And I saw that I had about $20. Okay? I had $20 to my name. And to like an 11-year-old, $20 is a lot of money. Like, let me tell you something. I was going nuts over that. Now, I walked up to my dad. I'm like, Dad, I don't know what I want to get with this. Like, you know, there's so many things. And so he's like, well, to find something, you know, maybe we can go out. And I'm like, okay. So I watch on TV, right? And at the time, the movie Battleship had come out. And if you guys know anything about that movie, it was certainly an interesting movie to say the least. Now, when I had walked up to my dad, I said, Dad, can I go to the store to get this Lego set? He's like, oh yeah, sure, we can go do that. That'd be fun. And so, you know, we go to the store, we go to the Walmart nearby our house, and I'm like, Dad, I know exactly what I get. We'll go over here. I was like, okay, let's go over there and get it. And so we go into the toy aisle, and we see this big old Lego battleship, and it was the coolest thing. It was based on the USS Missouri from the movie. Now, I'm like losing my mind over this, and my dad looks at me. He's like, hey, do you know how much that is? And I'm like, I look at the tag. It said $20, like underneath, like on the little shelf. It said $20. Now, I eagerly rushed to my dad and said, let's go up there. Let's go up to the front counter. He's like, okay, let's go. So we go up to the front counter, and the kind, like, 20-something-year-old woman looked at me, and she said, is this for you, young man? I said, yes, that's for me. In hindsight, I'm like, no, it's for my 40-year-old dad. But he's just like, okay, let's ring this up for you. Ding. That sucker was $80.
Whoa.
Because it was a big battleship. That sucker was $80. And I had to do a walk of shame with my dad because I'm like, I only had a measly $20. And so my dad, my wonderful father, he looked at me and he said, that's okay, son. Let this be a lesson that not everything will be as affordable as you want it to be. And sometimes the prices are just wrong. Let's go back and let's see what we can get you else. And my dad, my wonderful dad, did not be like, let's go get you something else, maybe a little higher value. He's like, let's see if there's something that we can get you picked out. So I walked back there. And you know what I got instead? I got a Halo Reach Lego set for $17. And what it did was it came with I think it came with George, one of the characters from Halo Reach, and the car. And like one of the Jeeps from Halo Reach. And to me, that was so cool to get and to assemble and to play with. Yeah, it was Halo Mega Bloks. That's what it was. Halo Mega Bloks. I always forget that. Yeah, that Missouri set was expensive. But from that point on, I learned that Legos they charge exorbitant prices for Legos. And since then, I've never bought one since. Anywho.
I'm actually gonna Google what's the most expensive Lego set, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a Star Wars one.
Yeah,
because
it's gonna be the Millennium Falcon. I'm almost 100%.
I was just about to say.
My sister-in-law, my wife's oldest sister, and her husband are very into Legos, where in their house they have a room that it's probably 20 feet by, it's probably like, what, 8 feet by 25 feet, I think, wall to wall with Legos. And when I say wall to wall with Legos, I don't mean built Lego sets, I mean drawers. Probably like 6-inch by like a foot deep drawers, where they pull it out and it's literally assorted bricks. And they will literally buy Lego sets. They'll buy bulk Legos. They'll take them all apart, clean them up, and sort them based on size, like the brick type. If they know, like if it's like specifically like Avatar: The Last Airbender or Harry Potter, like they literally will sort them out, take the pieces and put them in bins and resell them for a profit.
Wow.
It is absolutely insane.
And you are correct. It is the Millennium Falcon. You want to take a guess on how much it is?
Oh, God. I'd guess somewhere around 230.
I'd say 800.
You are closer, Val. It's 815 currently.
There we go.
Oh, my God.
You know what's funny is, after seeing it in person, I can understand why. Because where I work with several like administrative individuals. They work for, it's public relations, pardon me. They work for the public relations department. And one of the dudes, super cool dude, he actually recently moved to a different job on campus in a different building. And after he did a VO, after we recorded a VO with him, he's like, "Hey, do you like Legos?" I'm like, because the thing is, one of the sorry, that sounds like a really weird thing just to be randomly asked. Sorry, but we're talking about Lego. Like my other coworker was talking about Legos, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, Legos, interesting." He's like, "Hey, well, do you like Legos?" I'm like, "Yeah, I think they're cool." He's like, "You ever seen a Lego Millennium Falcon?" I'm like, "No." Is that, do you have one? He's like, "I have one in my office. If you ever want to stop by." Because sometimes we go up there to the public relations office anyways. Like, if you ever have to stop by, come see that. I'll show you I'll show you. I'll take it down from out of my cabinet and I will bust it out and I will show you this. Because he loves showing people the Millennium Falcon. It is like something you don't get to see often.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big piece for sure. I had a friend who has it, and it's crazy how much plastic can be expensive, how that expensive.
Just look at the Kardashians. Pardon me. That joke. Whew.
It's also heavy if you've ever picked one up.
I was thinking like a few thousand. I don't know. I guess when I hear expensive, I think expensive. That's true. Well, $100 can be expensive. I know for me, $30 is expensive. I'm not spending more than like $20 on a Lego set.
I think it very much just depends on like living situation.
Oh yeah.
That was like my parents made the mistake of not telling us how much things cost. And so growing up, like I had no concept of money. And I'd be spending like $15 like it was nothing and be like, "Yeah, that is like chump change, isn't it?" And they're like, "Mm-mm." Like, "No, it is not." And I was like, "It is. We spend that kind of money all the time, don't we?" And I was like, No.
Yeah.
That is not true. And I turned to adult and I was like, "Oh, I get it."
Exactly. When I moved up here and I started attending college, and when I really started to live on my own, I was like, the dollar is worthless and I need to stretch it as much as I can.
Yeah.
And since then, like, what's funny is I take advantage of every sale I can. Like, behind me, I have a receipt from 2 years ago that I pinned to my wall because it was so long. And that is because I bought like a 48 packs of chicken ramen, like the Maruchan stuff, the good stuff. And it was 4 for $1. And they were also running a deal because this is my local store, they were running a deal of buy 2 get 2 free 12 packs of soda. And so me and my roommate trudged through the snow, like we got in his car, trudged through a lot of the snow in the parking lot, filled up the basket with 4 like big old boxes of ramen and like 12 packs of soda. And we ran out of there like madmen. I'll get a calculator. Like, you guys talk. I'm gonna calculate this cost.
You guys talk among yourselves, and I'll get a calculator. Because you know what? Here's the thing. I do you remember, or I have no idea how old you are, Arrow, but do you remember when they were teaching us like that you shouldn't rely on calculators because you would not be carrying one around?
Yep.
Absolute blasphemy.
Yeah.
Such a lie.
I mean, that's like, what is your most vivid memory of something becoming obsolete before your very eyes? Like when you think
like
of something
school-wise or just in general?
Not just school-wise, just in general. Like for me, like thinking about like my iPod Touch, like I remember the day where I realized that no longer meant shit and I did not need it for anything anymore. It was literally useless.
Well, you said not school-wise, but I'm going to say school-wise. The entirety of the math subject, all of what we had to learn as like algebra and the Pythagorean theorem and all that BS. Yeah, no, you don't need that in your daily life.
Right. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it depends on what you do. Like for like my dad is big into like building stuff, and that got passed down to me, unfortunately, because so did the perfectionism. And so like I love building stuff with my hands. So it's like for me, it's like that is like one of the only things that does come in handy is like is like geometry or like the Pythagorean theorem, because it's like I need to figure out angles and stuff. But like, yeah, no, I totally agree. It's like sine, cosine, and like a whole like parabolic functions like those. Just I don't understand when I would use it unless I went into STEM.
For sure.
See, pardon me. What's funny is, since I've gotten to college, most of my professors have adopted the philosophy of use whatever you want. Just know that if you're doing things that are like, sucky bus.
Yeah, you're doing things that are
Suki bus. Thank you for the follow.
Suki. Also, thank you for the raid earlier, Suki.
Also, fun fact, I get pelted with 50 or 25 Dr. Peppers when I get followed, and you get 300 points when you follow, and you can use 220 of those to throw 50 more. Just more incentives to follow. I'm just saying. See, but the biggest thing that I learned was from my or like appreciated was from my physics professor, one of them, and he's like, look, I don't care if you cheat, I don't care if you plagiarize, because the thing is, at the end of the day, it only hurts you. And if you half-ass your way through whatever it is you're doing like that, and you're not learning anything, well, ultimately, when it comes down to it, you're not going to succeed. If I unfollow, follow again, we'll get to throw more. I have no idea.
Nope. It will not, because it only does notifications for when there is a new or unique follower.
Based. So
yep. It's pretty smart like that.
It is. But it was that'd be funny, they just unfollowed and then followed for nothing.
Yeah.
Is that Bible thump? My goodness. But yeah, I just thought it was super interesting thing to to see a professor follow through is, look, if you get caught, that's on you. You're doing it. And the thing is, if you cheat and you don't do the work, ultimately it's hurting you because you're not learning anything and you're paying for this class. So, you know,
it also means you're most likely just going to have to cheat again. So it's like, you're just going to have to keep cheating.
I see.
Becomes a cycle. One
must imagine Sisyphus to be miserable with the constant failures like that. So, but, you know, I think that's a very good mentality to keep. You know, you don't encourage cheating or plagiarism, but it's one of those things where if it gets caught, it just gets caught, you know, and if it doesn't, well, congrats, you game the system, and now you have to go through life learning it regardless. So, you know, it is what it is. But, you know, I guess education these days are certainly changing. So, where is it?
As it should be.
Oh, yeah. Only they don't. Oh, speaking of things that they're useless now, that you know, you don't use anymore, don't see. Guess what? Cursive. Back to that again.
It all ties back.
It all, much like everything evolves into crab, all conversations double back to cursive.
Not everything evolves into crab. It's convergent evolution.
Convergence, divergence, my favorite Jujutsu Kaisen reference. Good job, Gojo.
That's what I'm here for. You know me with the JJK references. That Phantom guy is only good for one thing.
And that's a sexy shirtless bod. Which, guess what, guys? You guys
I was gonna say, are you guys caught up with JJK?
I just finished the anime.
Yeah, not the manga.
I was gonna say that last episode of season 2 not it. Was not it.
What do you mean it's not it? Hold on. Can you?
It was not it.
No. So explain what you mean by that. Like, don't go into detail about the episode. Don't go into detail about the episode, but explain why you say that's not it. Like, in a good way or bad way?
In a very bad way.
What?
I've been watching anime for a long time, and usually your last episode of the season is going to be a banger, and they completely fumbled it. They basically gave you cliff notes for what the next season's going to be. And
that's what the manga is. That's what's in the manga.
Yeah. But
I
it gives
completely
the audience
agree.
something to look forward to. Like, it left me feeling empty. Usually you will have like a whole ass party like trying to get hyped for the the last episode, and it just was not it.
Mhm.
What are you
I
talking
completely
about?
no. I'm so with them on this.
Go read the
I'm
manga.
so with them on this.
Go read the manga.
Okay, the manga could be good, yes, but the anime, well, like if people are anime only watchers, they would have been disappointed with the last
I
episode.
was not disappointed with it because the thing is, I didn't read the manga before the show ended. I was strictly an anime only watcher, and then once the show ended, I have volumes 0 through 21 on my shelf right now, and I was ready to start reading that as soon as that I finished that episode. And I did start reading. I picked up because I wanted to see the ending in the manga for that part, and the only thing they left out was there was a part between your little cliff notes section there, and then what shows the actual final part with the bridge stuff. And that was right. It was just a small little meeting between two characters. You know who it is. And that's it. That was the only thing they cut out of that.
That is the most base thing I've seen in a very long time.
If you need to read the source material anyways, then your anime movie center has failed. So, no. So,
That is a win.
So my point, to be fair, Val, you are also a bit mods, put him in the femur breaker.
Femur breaker.
How dare you give them a sub on that take?
I'm absolutely giving them a sub. That's a fucking amazing take. That is the biggest W take I've ever seen. Because my least favorite argument is read the manga. If they're turning it into an anime, then the idea is that it's for a different audience. It's for an audience who likes to watch, not who likes to read. It could be both. You could intersect.
So I think,
but it needs to stand on its own.
So I think you're missing what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that what happened in the anime happened in the manga. So like that is essentially it is one. Well, yeah, but you don't need to read the manga.
Bad place to end.
I don't.
You don't. No. That's the whole point. You don't need to read the manga. If you need to read the manga, it's bad.
No.
That is a fact.
That is.
You should not have to read the manga
well,
to enjoy the anime.
I'm not saying you have to read the manga to enjoy the anime. I am simply saying that the anime and the manga are essentially one-to-one, and that's where they left off because that essentially starts the new arc. Is right after that.
And that's bad pacing for the anime.
Well then, yeah,
because they need to be one-to-one.
The ending itself for season 2 was not bad. I thought it was super. I mean, well, actually, okay, maybe I have one complaint about that ending.
I just think if me as an anime only watcher, because I also go back and forth between the manga, but for this specific series, I'm only watching it for the anime. That last episode set the audience up for nothing. Like, cool, we get some characters back and stuff like that, but it's not like, I don't know, it left me feeling empty.
Yeah, let's see, because looking in the volume right now, at the very end of that, that's when Gato does his thing, and that's when the thing happens. Because I'm not spoiling anything. Because the thing is, if you've seen JJK, you know Gato is in it. You know who the character is. You know that Gato is in it.
Personally, I think the episode before should have been the last episode of that season. That would have been a really good episode, and then start the next season with what we had for the last episode. Like, it would have been a good recap. That's basically what it was a recap episode.
Well, no, so that episode, that second to last episode, ended where if I remember, because I have to look at the manga again, because I really don't remember where I just remember the last episode, not the second from last episode. But the thing is, I can imagine a good ending point. Adaptation should adapt is a great take. I see. So I agree that the ending should have ended for season 2 at the part when you just see the top-down shot of Shibuya. I think that would have been can we agree that would have been a good part to end it?
Yes, for sure.
Because then we don't know anything that happens after. But I wouldn't call that ending completely a letdown.
I mean, like, I just feel like I think as an episode, it is fine. I think as an ending, it's bad, and I think that's where we're drawing the distinction. Is not that it was a bad episode or a bad adaptation. It's a bad ending when you for a season, you typically end on a climax. You don't usually resolve at the end of a season, and if you do,
it didn't resolve
there's
anything
usually
though.
a massive payoff.
It didn't.
Right, but they started having all the reactions to what happened, rather than just ending on the event that happened. That's where I have a problem with it, where it's like that's what I want to see afterwards. It's almost like we got like almost like a bite of season 2.
I mean season 3.
But we didn't really get to see what direction season 3, without really getting to see any direction or like anything it just felt like I felt like I wasn't fully done taking in what had happened in the episode before, and so they just kind of gave me like baby food to just sort of like, all right, well, here's
here's
like,
that.
So Tay,
Yeah.
Tay said, as somebody who doesn't know anything about as someone who knows nothing about JJK, what made it so bad? Now, I will explain to you what the last episode entailed without really giving you story context. So, what happened is that there was, because that happens at any action anime, there's a big fight at the very end, and the thing is that something happens that completely changes the world in which they live in, and now they have to adapt to this new normal. But the thing is that I guess where people draw the complaint, what made it so bad, is that instead of ending it right there, because at the very end it just shows a top down of Shibuya, the place where it was taking place. It just shows a top down and shows essentially a void. People who watch will infer what happens. I'm not saying what happens. And the thing is, I agree, that could have been a very good spot to end it, because we know nothing about what happens afterward. What happens afterward is the series then shows a little bit of what's happening in Tokyo and the world being affected by it, with a bunch of people talking, and then something happens with one person, with a character that just happens. I'm not gonna say anything. And then with that same character, we get a little more context in how the world changed now. And so that's what Arrow was saying when she's like, the Cliff Notes, the Sparkle Notes, the Spark Notes version.
I like Sparkle Notes better.
What we
it's more
got.
befitting of a bottom.
All right, you wonderful individual.
Thank you.
So I think it was here's my, because I understand where you guys are coming from. This is why I think it was a good ending, because it gives you a little bit of info about what happened after, and then as we move a little forward to when it actually ended, it sets it up for, this is the new normal, this is what we have to expect. Now, one could definitely argue that leaving it on a cliffhanger would be much better, because, it keeps people interested. They want to come back. They want to see all this stuff. What will happen? I don't know. I don't know what was in Studio Mappa's mind.
I think as an anime enjoyer, one of the biggest things with long-running series is I like to make inferences, and I like to do that sort of on my own. With Dragon Ball, I remember years ago I was talking to my one of my best friends from high school, and I was like, yeah, I have a feeling that the power creep is gonna keep going, and like eventually they're gonna get to the point where they are just gods. And then we got Dragon Ball Super, where they literally made Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But it was like, it's fun to have that moment of like, yes, like I called it, or like, oh my god, this is going in a different direction. We also had the theory that different colors would be different attributes. So like I was like, maybe yellow will be ki, green will be like brute strength, like Broly, and like maybe there'll be other colors, and something along those lines happen. But it was fun to have that moment where it's like, yeah, there was time in between where we could make these theories, and like we could theory craft, we could take all the time we've spent watching that series, the hundreds of hours that are in that series, and just like expanding upon it. And they took that away from us, where they just sort of said, all right, well, this is what happened and here's where it is. That's what I wanted to see at the start of season 2, where it's like, okay, like this theory I had is wrong. What I saw over here is different. We essentially, instead of having a big finish, it petered out. If it were something where we didn't know if we were getting another, like a movie, like take like a Jason Bourne movie, that'd be fine to resolve it where it's like, yeah, so this is what happened afterwards, like, you know, like this is kind of like the new state of things and this is how they are now. That's not really what I want when I know there's more to come, because now it's like I don't know what I'm looking forward to other than just, oh, well, now I know the world they live in and I know the characters, but I don't really know what to expect. I just know who the bad guy is, I know what happened, and I know the state the world's in. There's really not much for me to think about other than I wonder who the animators are gonna be. I hope all the original voice actors come back. There's like nothing to get excited about anymore, because I know all my questions are already answered, other than what did they do next, which you should have that at the end of quite literally every episode you watch. It should be either what do they do next or I hope they do this. And I'm just kind of left with this sense of like, oh, okay, all right. And that's it. I don't really, like, I just don't have anything to comment on other than the episodes prior to it. And I feel like that just leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
I can understand that. I can certainly see it. I can understand that. I still maintain a little bit that the ending was not disappointing. I think it could have been rearranged a little bit, but I think the way how they ended it was really good. Everyone else, people
I'm nodding my head. You can't see, but I'm nodding my head.
How dare you throw that at me after saying such blasphemy?
Everyone else says it wasn't great.
Yeah, throw all the Dr. Pepper.
Yes. What about you, Arrow?
For what, the take on JJK?
My gosh.
Hit him with it. Hit him with it while he's getting beamed with
Get
Dr.
him.
Pepper. He can't refute.
Get him. Oh. I say 0 out of 10. Would not recommend that last episode.
I would.
Damn. Holding firm. I respect it.
I know you're my guest and all, and I support you, but I can't support that trash tank. I just can't.
It's like, was it Tay that said it in here? I said this, where was it? If you're ending on a massive event, context should be saved for the next season. That's exactly what they should have done. They should have ended on what happened in the prior episode and then given a recap, a small recap, or just given that entire episode as the first episode of the next season.
I think first episode, I think it would have been an amazing first episode. And I think that's my biggest problem, is that I feel like
it refreshes your memory as well.
I don't think I'm waiting for the first episode of season 3. I feel like I'm waiting for the second episode and subsequent episodes of season 3. You know when you go through a mid-season break, that's what this feels like, where you're just kind of like, oh, shit, everyone in the office got corona, so I guess we're just kind of waiting, like, to see what goes on next. Like if you're watching, like, I like rom-coms personally. And that happened with The Dangers of My Heart, which is like a really cute rom-com. And I think they had a break between the, like, I want to say it was after like the 4th or 5th episode, they had to take a break because of, you know, COVID and everything. And like, it was just like it was so hard to get back into it because there was like nothing to keep me like invested in it. There's nothing that I was like, yes, I can't wait to see what happens, like, because we just saw this person say this, or like this is what occurred. I was like, oh, like there's just not really anything going on right now that's like super that's just super interesting.
Yeah. I think the last thing I shall say on this is the only way I could see it alternatively working is if they ended the episode after the big bad happens and we get that aerial shot of Shibuya, and then it cuts to black, and that's it. That's the ending of the season 2. Then season 3 picks up right after with a little bit of rearranged with the woman and then the other person that shows up, but it opens with all of the panic that's happening in Tokyo and the world. You know that.
Yeah, and I think we're all in agreement that would have been the optimal. It's just confusing as to why they wouldn't just go ham on some animation and Dragon Ball Z it and just make a fight go a little bit longer.
Because they're already overworking their animators.
Yeah, but just pay them more.
They don't though.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
It's one of those things where just pay them more. It won't though. So, like I said, I recommend it. I think it's really good. And I personally think after that, people should read the manga. And that's just me. So, needs to put the anime on a hiatus and give their animators pay vacay. I agree. All I can say is it is what it is, and we can't change it. We're just going to have...
You're so wrong, Office. We can scream. We can scream super loud. I'm like the loudest screamer I know.
You can't, but I can. So... But yeah, like I said, I'm reading the manga, and I'm getting really invested and super excited to read the manga, because like my community knows that I bought the manga when I went to it was like I want to say it was like a not a Thanksgiving sale. I think it was like a Memorial or Veterans Day sale or something like that, and it was buy 2 get 1 free manga, and so it's $10 a piece for it, and I'm getting hiccups. I want to say I spent $80 because I had some extra money saved, and I was planning for this sale anyway. And I was originally just going to buy Komi Can't Communicate because I also have that series as well.
Great.
What do you mean? Oh, great.
No. I said great as in that is a great series.
Oh, okay. I'm like,
Yeah.
So I
just didn't want to. I wanted to throw it in there without going too far.
Oh, okay. But I want to say I got let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So $80 I spent, and that's buy 2 get 1. So that's 4 free ones, I think. So all in all, I got 12 volumes. And so I was able to catch up with, relatively speaking, I still need to get volumes 22 through 24, but if they're in English. So yeah, manga's getting good. And all I can say is for those who are big fans of the show, really get excited for season 3 because it will be really good. So yeah.
I will hold you to it.
Okie dokie. Well, just hopefully it won't be as a big disappointment, supposedly, as the ending for season 2.
Better not be. Allegedly.
The alleged disappointment.
Yes. Well, we just passed the 1 hour point. How are we all feeling after this fun little debate here?
I feel like I'm probably not going to go to you for anime recommendations for a little while. I think I'm going to give that a little bit of breathing room.
You don't come to me, period, for anime recommendations.
I don't come to you ever. Because you never look at me during.
Talk to me when you're caught up in the manga. I keep my words silent to those who aren't current, as it should be. If there are only hours between the completion of the episode and the air, you need better management.
Facts.
Preach.
Like I said, that's a Mappa choice. You need to take it up with Mappa.
Oh, God. I mean, like, as if, like, there are other companies that make worse choices, like Toei.
Yeah, well,
don't even get me started on them.
Toei makes good choices. The problem is they ban everything that isn't official. They're like Ghibli. It's okay. I got you recommendations. No, you're just going to give them like trash. I'm sorry, Tay. I know what you watch.
Trash. Damn.
I know what you recommended me. He's actually recommended me several good shows. So if he does recommend you, you're in good hands.
I was gonna say, you just called him trash.
A deal with a devil, you could say. Oh. So then, chat. What is an anime recommendation you would give that would satiate that hunger following season 2 of JJK. If you say Chainsaw
Yes.
Man,
You know what I want? I want to see. Let's only get Arrow's opinion on the anime recommendation.
Oh,
We can't
shit.
say anything about them. We can make noises, but we can't say anything. She's the only one that gets to give a take.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Listen,
I want this more than anything.
I have okay, so I was a big anime watcher, you know, in like in 2010 and up when I had nothing to do, you know, in school, and now that I'm an adult, it's kind of hard for me to watch a lot more episodes and shows. However, from what I have watched, I do like romance animes, so Fruits Basket's one of my top animes. I do recommend it, and I do have a tattoo on it because it's that freaking good, at least to me. Love that show. And of course, this is gonna be the most basic anime I can recommend anybody, but it is just that good story-wise. Attack on Titan. Don't at me, I haven't finished it because I'm scared of the ending. I don't want to finish it yet. I haven't mentally prepared. And trying to think of another one. What you say to Attack on Titan? Oh no. Listen, I've been avoiding the ending for so long. I have the mangas, I have everything else. I'm scared. I don't want to do it. And I'm drawing blanks. I can't think of any right now. Also, y'all gonna hate me, but on what?
Digimon Ghost.
That's one of the ones in chat. I want to see your opinions on those as well. And even if you don't know them, please make really bold opinions on what you think that they'd be. Like, if you think you'd like it, like, just go for it. Just don't give you don't have to give like actual examples. Like, just really lean into it. The hard sell for the content.
I'm sorry, but I don't really like the nerdsy stuff. Like, you're gonna hate me. Dragon Ball, I can never get into it. You're screaming for 5 hours long. I just can't do it. That's what Digimon gives me the vibes of. Madoka Magica, I've seen it, or I've seen like some things of it. It seems like it's a good anime. I probably would watch that. So yeah. I also do like Erase, like mystery murder type animes. Erase is a really good one if you haven't watched it.
Oh, I need to watch Erased. Panty and Stalking is good. Konosuba is good. Yuri Camp never saw.
Look at this man breaking the rules and giving takes.
Hellsing. Well, you said you said it for Arrow, not chat.
No, the idea was that she would give the takes.
Oh, okay.
On the anime presented by chat.
Oh, I didn't hear that part. I'm sorry.
Send your favorite anime recommendations, and I will judge.
Yeah, no. It's all good because she was doing hers first, and I was like, hell yeah, I'm with this.
I need to watch Full Metal Alchemist. I've started it like 3 times, and I just can't get past the first season hurdle. I need to. Fate Stay, same thing. I started. I also have that really bad habit of starting animes and never finishing them. I feel like every anime watcher has that though. What's the Am I giving bad takes here?
No. I'm just agreeing with. I'm just making noises. Yeah. Sorry. Continue. There's still more that Tay said.
Oh, I have not heard of a good chunk of those. Hellsing, I think that one's a decent one. But I haven't watched any of the other ones.
Go ahead and tell them why you're not interested and why you haven't watched them.
Which one?
Anything new, I'm not up to date with, because I'm just not as active in the anime scene anymore.
Wait, which one?
Sorry?
What? So what is what? Sorry, I was reading chat and I hear it wasn't as good or something like that.
It's overrated. I don't know which one they're talking about.
Oh.
Still overrated, but I understand the people.
FMA is okay.
Oh.
Okay.
I know so many people are going to be mad over that one.
You know what?
I don't know if they'll be more mad about the take or that I didn't rise to defend it.
So FMA is I'm just gonna say it. I will say it. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, very good. It is very good. I can see why it is top. It is top 3. Now, that is certainly in a like I don't think I can say one is the best just because that will change from person to person. So that's like saying who's the greatest basketball player of all time. One person could say Michael Jordan. The other. Oh, that's right.
Question answered.
Of course. Sorry, I forgot. But Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is certainly a show that's worth watching. I think if you're an anime fan, that is a show that you should watch. Now I'm going to give a hot take. Are you ready for this?
Oh God. Oh, no.
Yes.
Here it comes.
I think Code Geass is better than Attack on Titan.
Yikes.
I think the fact that you think that they're so similar that they need to be compared to each other.
They are so really similar. The theme, the story, and the story and the themes are very similar. Eren is just a diet Lelouch.
Yeah, that's the take. That's the take that's gonna put you in hot water.
I hope it does.
That's the one.
Eren is a diet Lelouch, and here's why. Both of the stories are about two people who get powers, who are trying to liberate their country or wherever they're from to make the world better, and they both find out the world they knew is not quite what it seemed. I'm gonna leave it at that in terms of story. I'm not gonna say anything else. Their stories are essentially the same. The only difference is Lelouch is a much better and much more well-written character than Eren. By a country mile.
I can see that.
I think the abridged version of Geass is better than AOT.
I disagree because I think there is a lot of complexity to Attack on Titan, and I think this is a problem with the storytelling, but I also think that it's just the design of the storytelling and the way the story unfolds makes it very complicated. I think I don't think I could have executed it better, but I think the way that the story is told, and I think that the way it came out, I think makes it better.
What, AOT?
AOT. I think, in my personal opinion, that if you did not watch it as it released, you did not get the proper experience.
I did watch it as it released, though.
So my thought process is that the more you binged, the worse it is, and the best way to experience it was almost watching the first season. The second season is about to come out, you get hype, you go back, you watch the first season. The third season about to come out, you go back, you watch it again.
Hold on. I've watched it like 4 or 5 times now.
Couldn't that just be for any show?
No, and there's a reason I can't. It is the biggest spoiler I can give.
The story, as far as AOT goes, you can watch that so many times over and still catch things you missed the first time you watched it.
You could do the same thing with Code Geass.
Well, I think the difference is there are things you literally cannot notice in AOT until you get to like a second, or like when you watch it the first season, there are things you're going to miss, and then when you watch the second season, you're like, oh shit, I didn't even think about this.
That's just story writing.
I disagree.
That's just story writing. No.
I can't get into it without spoiling the entire thing, but there is a incredibly good reason why it's different, and I think that if you don't know that reason and you're missing it, then you're not going to enjoy Attack on Titan nearly as much. Because
I can understand
love-hate relationship.
I can understand what you're talking about, and I can say this is that a lot of the things that are like, one thing that is certainly different from Attack on Titan that is for Code Geass is that Attack on Titan, a lot of the stuff that happens throughout the story, each season kind of reintroduces something that comes back that happened, like it has a flashback or something, or that happens in the previous season that's just expanding on information. So I can understand that, like in season 4, that's just what happens at the ending of any anime. I'm not spoiling anything. I'm only saying that stuff comes to light, and you see all this stuff is like that made people like, Isayama knew exactly what he was doing when he wrote the first chapter of Attack on Titan. When they see the end of the story, but that's just storytelling. That's just story writing.
I'm
don't
gonna
even think.
disagree. I
I
think
was
that.
gonna
Oh,
say,
go ahead. Go
sorry
ahead,
to
Arrow.
interject, but I
No.
don't even think story-wise that AOT is such a good anime for just that reason. For what it did for the anime community in general, like it exposed so many non-anime watchers to a very good show, and for that to be their first show to ever watch, like if you look at the charts that Attack on Titan had during the time that it was airing, it was like #1 for a while. And that just
Oh,
goes to
yeah.
show, like, people who did not watch anime, they actually really enjoy the storyline and could follow along with it.
Well, Code Geass did as well. Code Geass was like a cultural
But to a
phenomenon.
scale that
Well, that's
Attack on
because
Titan,
well, that's essentially saying, oh yes, basketball exploded recently because Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors won so many championships versus the Lakers in the 70s when basketball wasn't as big as it is now. I don't necessarily think that'd be a fair comparison. Like, does that make sense? Because I don't think time is like.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think that's unfair to say that time does change that. But I also think that to not be derivative takes more creativity nowadays than it did back in the day. And I think that although we can easily say, well, the budget was different, the style was different, the exposure was different, I feel like things are judged much more harshly nowadays than they were beforehand. And I think that to become so big nowadays requires much more than it used to. It's kind of like when you watch The Princess Bride, there are people that do not like The Princess Bride at all.
That's me.
And it's you, yeah. And I think that it depends on how you were exposed to it. It depends on what movies you've seen other than The Princess Bride. Because when The Princess Bride came out, it was revolutionary in a lot of different ways. People absolutely went ham over it. The amount of references you see to The Princess Bride alone are astounding. It's the same with Star Wars. Star Wars is a shit movie. It is literally terrible. It is a political space opera. And people love it because it was revolutionary for the special effects industry. And it was the first time that nerd culture really just absolutely dominated the box office. It's the same with Iron Man, where it's like that is a great movie, but it changed superhero movies permanently. It put Marvel into the superpower that they are today because of how well it did. Like, even if we go back and we say, oh, well, it's the same as every other superhero movie where there's a good version and then someone comes along and now there's a bad version of the same superhero. We've seen this before. Like, it's still a fantastic movie, even though it's no longer as unique.
So this is what I will say about Attack on Titan, because when I say I'm not a fan of it, I certainly don't think it's a bad movie. Princess Bride is a fantastic movie. It's just not a movie for me. I just don't like it as much. I love Attack on Titan. It's one of my favorite shows. I have a very strong emotional attachment to it because I watched it with my twin brother in a time in my life that was not exactly the best. And then we continued watching until all of the seasons came out. It's just that I think from a perspective of its cultural influence, the story in which it was written, and I just got a message. The way Code Geass was written and the influence it had over the anime genre in general, not only because of its story, its elements of animation, the voice direction for it, because they did a lot of new things with their audio, because audio nerd. And not only that, just it influenced so many things at the time when thank you, Tay, for pointing that out. It was just a big cultural phenomenon. And yes, Attack on Titan is certainly the same way. It has done a lot of that. I just feel like that Code Geass offered something that Attack on Titan was able to latch on a little more and have an influence for. Now, that's not to say that the argument of something that came before and influenced it will always be better than what came after. I just personally think that Code Geass is a better and more well-written show than Attack on Titan. if that makes sense.
No, yeah, that makes sense. I don't agree, but I see where you're coming from. No, I completely disagree, but I 100% can understand like where your viewpoint is, and it's well thought out, it's well rounded. I don't really have anything to try to pick apart. I think that's just gonna to me that's just going to have to be left at a difference of opinion.
Oh, very, very much so.
Because I don't think there's really anything that you're saying that I'm like, yeah, no, I completely disagree with that because of XYZ. I just feel differently about which story I think was better written.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if it's just because I like the experience I had with Attack on Titan better, or if it comes down to just like the fact that I've watched it more than I've watched Code Geass. But
have you seen Code Geass all the way through? Have you like seen the entire show?
I watched the entire thing. I did watch it dubbed, which I do not like dub as much as I like sub.
Code Geass dub is goated.
See, well, that's that is the thing where I do not think that Attack on Titan's dub is very good.
I disagree.
I think there's a lot of weird choices that don't make sense.
I would agree with that as well.
Guess what? We're starting a new segment on the VOD in the future where we're going to be discussing trash takes with our guest.
Damn.
We'll
bring out the chart.
We'll call it Trash Take. That's what the podcast will be. Bring out the chart.
Yeah.
So for those,
bring out the chart.
So for those that don't know, I have a anyway. I could bring it out and we could segue to that and get even to more shenanigans.
God.
So.
Oh God, I don't know if Arrow deserves that.
Trash takes like the
Throw at me.
No, you don't want it, Arrow. You don't want the chart.
Yeah. All right. How about we do a little bit of a palate cleanser? What is a show? And we'll end that topic with this question. Each of us, why don't we each give a show to recommend that is just a nice, cool little. Well, we will see you in a minute, Vocal. I'll just call you Pog. I just like that. See you in a moment, Pog. This is where I gotta skedaddle. It's almost midnight. Well, Devil, thank you for being here, and thank you for agreeing with my side. But also, thank you for agreeing with their side. So it's nice that chat was on your guys' side with JJK, but chat was on my side for the Code Geass. So it evened out. So it just
at least, you know what? At least they're taking sides based on takes and not just because you're the handsome one.
But like, you're Gojo. You're irresistible.
That is true.
But anyway, why don't we do this? Why don't we each recommend a show that's like a nice feel-good show. Like nothing is like, it's the best show ever. You need to watch this more than anything else. But just something like you just really like a show you really like and you really enjoy that you want to recommend. Because I know you recommended Fruit Baskets, but if there's another one, unless you want to reiterate that one. So why don't we start with why don't we go Gojo here? I'll go, and then we'll end with Arrow.
Starting with me. Give me just a moment.
All right.
I need to look up.
All right. We'll start with me then.
Just one thing.
We'll start with me then.
Yeah. Why don't you really threw me off by not going in order. I was like,
yeah.
Okay. I was like, let me make sure I find the full name of this show.
So, mine is a very, very simple one. It is called Kimi ni Todoke, or From Me to You.
Yep.
And
I like that show.
I've talked about it. Actually, I don't think I've talked about it as much on stream that I've talked about with my friends. But it is a really good feel-good show about a girl who her appearance looks like the girl from The Ring. And because that everybody kind of avoids her. It's not that they bully her, it's just that they avoid her. Well, some of them bully her. But not the point. A lot of people avoid her, and so she doesn't really have any friends until one day the person whom she has a crush on, which happens to be the class president, he kind of, he doesn't see any of that. He just sees her as who she really is. And from that point on, she starts to gain the confidence. A feel-good show like the VOD. Robe, you're my new favorite person.
Yeah.
But just like she starts to gain confidence, she starts to grow friends, and she slowly starts to become more and more popular. And, it's just kind of a story that is just continually uphill that just makes you feel good. And, you know, it's just cute. It's just a cute show. And I couldn't recommend it enough.
It's a great
Beautiful.
show.
I've read the manga. It's pretty good.
You read the manga? Wow.
Manga's no, I'm joking.
He said manga in English? Ah, man, they took some stylized choices that, you know, just doesn't do it for me. Japanese all the way.
All right, is it my go, or did you have? I guess that was your closing statement.
That was my closing statement. Good show.
Yeah. If there's a show I'd have to recommend, because I feel like I want to go off the beaten path as much as possible, but I am a casual isekai and overpowered main protagonist enjoyer. So I'm gonna really go off the beaten path. If I had to recommend something to someone who are we going for someone who does or does not watch anime?
No, it's just
that changes my pitch.
It's just a show you really like that you want to recommend.
There's a show out there called Shimoneta, a boring world where the concept of dirty jokes doesn't exist, and if you haven't seen it, you need to watch it because it is absolutely riddled with the smuttiest jokes I've ever seen in my life, and probably my you know what? I'm gonna go out and say it. The best yandere that there is in that show. I don't think there are any other yandere that come anywhere close other than Future Diary. And it is amazing.
I have not seen Future Diary.
It is. Oh, Future Diary is also fantastic, but that's, you know, people know about that one because that was like the beginning of yandere.
Oh, I suppose it is.
But yeah, Shimoneta, absolutely fantastic. The whole concept is that the government has essentially put bans on people that can hear what you're saying, and if you are saying dirty jokes or like being impure or immoral, it will essentially call the police. It's kind of like
this feels.
I don't know which movie it is because I haven't seen it.
It's like 1984, but if it was written by a mangaka.
Yeah.
Freaking.
It's so funny because all it is the way they're trying to combat the system isn't by like convincing them with like sound arguments. It's just by like literally running around half naked and like throwing porno mags everywhere, and it is absolutely hysterical.
My goodness.
And the testament to how good it is my wife, who does not watch anime. There are only like 4 anime I've gotten her to watch: My Hero, Your Lie in April, 5, Orange, Spy Family, and Shimoneta. Those are the only ones I've gotten her to successfully watch.
Do androids dream of electric masseurs? No! That is such a good name for an episode. The devil blows his own trumpet. Oh,
dude, I'm telling you.
I was just about to say I'd never expected Kurt Vonnegut to write an anime. Oh my gosh, I gotta check this out.
It's so good.
All right,
it's so worth it. Give it a watch.
All right.
It is mature, so just, you know, be aware of where you're watching it, when you're watching it.
All right, Arrow.
All right. So you said feel good, and I'm gonna go in the complete opposite direction of feel good anime. I've actually been recently rewatching this because I remember watching it in middle school and I really enjoyed it, and then I never finished the second season. It's called Psycho-Pass, and I'm surprised a lot more people haven't heard about it.
So much.
I'm sorry. A very, very good psychological mystery type anime, and it's just, I cannot recommend it enough. I guess for like a Cliff Note version of the show, they are in like a futuristic society where their mental states are based off of some of the government system that's put in place, and you're following a team of investigators as they go and, you know, try to solve some murders and stuff like that, and they slowly start to realize how effed up the system is. And I can't say more because there is so much to the story that you just have to experience for yourself. Slight trigger warning, there is a lot of themes of death and assault and stuff like that. So if you're not comfortable with those, I would not recommend it if that's
pretty
the case.
violent.
Very violent and gory, but it is a very, very good watch, and it will make you think about even our own system and stuff like that.
Like,
so very good anime.
If I may piggyback
we
off that.
literally picked the same theme of dystopian futures where everything is monitored by the government, because that is the one detail that I want to make sure gets added to Psycho-Pass, is that they essentially use your emotions to determine whether you will become a criminal, and then they arrest you before you can commit crimes. That is, I feel like that's one of the like important parts of it that I absolutely adore.
And
But
they also
you're very
use
right in making sure to warn
criminals
people that it's
as investigators. I think that is so smart
They're
on
called
their end.
they're enforcers.
Enforcers, yes.
Something else I want to piggyback off that is that with Psycho-Pass 2 is that there's a lot of references to classical literature that play important themes in it. For instance, it actually got me to actually read the book "Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep," which is the basis for Blade Runner. And it's such a important concept that is discovered in that. And then it talks about something like Max Weber, another wonderful thing that they talk about, who was a German sociologist. That if you could describe the story of Psycho-Pass, it is described as a panopticon, which a panopticon is essentially a prison with a singular turret, a guard post in the center of a circular prison where only one guard needs to look at all of the prisoners, because the one guard can see inside every cell. And so you're essentially having you're just essentially having the system, this robotic system, determine if somebody is likely to commit a crime. And so that's where it explores the themes of what is independence, what is life, what is if we give one power to one thing, how will it turn out? And so also just one of my favorite quotes from the show that I find myself saying a lot is when Kogami is at a certain point in the series, which I won't say anything else on, says that I've learned to, as a rule of elementary hygiene, I've learned to be on guard, insert XYZ. It's the funniest thing, because he says,
I love Kogami's character.
And he's voiced by Rob McClure, that's a Broadway actor, Rob McCollum, who is such a good voice actor, because he voices characters like Doflamingo in One Piece and Reiner in Attack on Titan. So he's so good. I'm sorry. Psycho-Pass is one of my favorite shows of all time. The soundtrack is so good.
Yes.
Well, there are your 3 picks: 2 dystopian societies and 1 romance slice of life anime.
Yeah, one that's like the most like digestible. Like it's like, yeah, guys, there are some themes of bullying. So if this triggers you, like then be sure to watch with someone you're comfortable with, and watch when you're in a good mental state. And it's like, this one's about straight up fucking, and this one's like just fucked.
So you got your options to choose.
Yes. Broadway.
Do you want to go to sleep, or do you want to be awake? Or do you want to be awake?
Society.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, something I forgot to mention early on is there's a Discord for the VOD. Come join the Discord. There's a lot of fun things to do. There's a lot of fun channels. You can also talk not only with me, you can talk with my co-host, you can also talk with my previous guests on the show. If you're a VTuber and you want to be on the show, we'll get you set up. We have a channel for that. Not only that, we also host several things, and we're planning several things like tournaments and get-togethers and watch-alongs and all of that. So join the Discord and have a lot of fun with that. I had to speed run that.
You ran through that.
I did.
God
I'm a
dang.
head off, but it's been nice to listen. Love the interview idea. Oh, I'm glad.
I thought you were saying that for a second. I was like, oh, you're what?
Well, Crunchy Pickle, join the Discord so you can talk with all of our guests and also get more updates about stuff for the show. That's all I gotta say on that. Get this fembat a gavel and send him to an auction.
Oh God.
I'm not even gonna.
So true.
You're getting better at it. That's because at a certain point it just becomes repetition. And also, since I've done like public speaking, improv, theater for years, speaking fast like that on the fly is relatively easy. But this show isn't about me, it's about our wonderful guest. So this is, I think, the last section I think will be fun to talk about is your model. I think it's a really cool.
I really thought you were going to say your mom there.
That too.
Your mom.
No, we're not going to talk about kissing dads. That's non.
Oh man.
All right, well, I guess we're kissing dads because we're truth seekers. We kiss dads.
Yeah. What would you like to know or learn about the model and or design process?
Not gonna lie, I thought you were gonna say, "What would you like to know about my dad?"
I was really hoping that's where she was going with it. A little sad, but that's all right. I'll get over it.
All right. If you want to learn about about Papa Arrow, you can ask.
Papa Arrow.
That'd be.
You do have a really unique model. I feel like Cosmic Bubble is not something that I personally would have been able to personify in anything remotely human.
Thank you.
Is he single?
It was.
Is he single?
Oh, Papa Arrow? Yeah, actually.
Oh.
I'll give him your contacts if you want. But as far as design, so going into VTubing, I knew that I wanted to kind of have something that not only represented what I did or what I do like, but also have it not of the norm. And what I mean by norm is kind of like a humanoid figure, if that makes sense. Which it is humanoid at the end of the day, but not to like, like
it's unique.
A normal person.
You won't come across another VTuber that looks like yours, which I have done several times.
And as far as the design itself, shout out to Helen, who is my artist and who actually got the the design down for me. She spent so much time working with me. Originally I wanted to do something with bubbles. I don't know why, I just really like bubbles, and I wanted something with space, so I tried to combine the two, and luckily there's something amazing in our freaking universe called the Erosita bubble, and I had no idea about it. And it just kind of all worked out from there. I used reference pictures. The colors are all from that picture, that Erosita picture, and we just went from there. I looked up Pinterest ideas of what I liked, and yeah, we got what you see before you.
Do you think if you wanted to create different models, or any other designs, do you think you'd model it after other different astronaut? Why can I think? Because I keep wanting to say astrological.
Astronomical. Astronomical. What's it called?
Is astronomical the right word? I guess it could be. Not aeronautical,
Shrug, stuff
right?
in space.
That's actually about spaceflight itself.
Astronomical does mean relating to astronomy. Because it's not astrological astrology. But do you think you'd incorporate other elements of astronomy into your designs? Like, for instance, do you know what the pillars of creation are?
They have sound familiar, but my brain.
That's my name for my
Not
penis.
right now.
You have 3 of them?
I could. You don't know. Maybe I collect them. Maybe I'll swap them out. They're modular.
In this economy?
Pop off one of my 3 dicks.
Understandable. Have a nice day. So, I will throw a photo in here so you can see what it is. Didn't Sun Wukong pee on them? I don't understand that. I don't. I'm sorry. So this right here. This is the pillar. These are the pillars of creation.
Oh yes.
So
very beautiful.
And the reason why this is such a, it's a very important thing. Pardon me. The reason why they're so important is because one, it's called the pillars of creation because it was used by somebody giving a sermon. But the thing is, they say that these pillars are full of cosmic dust and material that are closely related to that of the Big Bang, and also used for the creation of, you know, new stars and existing stars and eroding stars. And so this was an old, I want to say this was the Hubble, that when this was taken. For those that don't know, you know, the Hubble telescope, that's a thing that's been floating.
Oh,
Yeah.
go follow them on Instagram. They have beautiful pictures like this all the time.
This was the original photo. I think this was the Hubble. So the James Webb, actually, the James Webb telescope that's floating through space, actually captured a recent picture. And let me throw that in because it's so cool. Yeah, where are you? There you are. That
is so cool.
This is the new photo.
Wow.
And I think one of the main things I also wanted to do was show like my love for space. Space is so like endless, and we are still learning so much about it every freaking day. And the fact that this exists outside of our planet, it's like mind-boggling to me.
If there's one thing you can do in space, like, regardless of whether or not it's possible or feasible, do you have any ideas what you could do there? Like, for instance, imagine dodgeball in space.
Your dad.
Imagine, imagine kissing your dad in space.
What if we kissed in space?
What if we recreated the Spider-Man scene of Tobey Maguire kissing Kirsten Dunst upside down? But yeah, like, you know, what do you think would be something that'd be really fun that you could do in space? Oh my gosh, I've angered her. The expressions.
Be in space. I think that'd be just be there. And no, I've actually thought about this. Looking down at Earth, I think would be so cool. Like seeing where we are, I think that'd be like, yes, this exists, if that makes sense. Because who knows if we really are on a little floating rock out in the middle of nowhere. I think seeing that would just be like cool.
How did you feel when,
be more concrete?
Like, as a child, you know that iconic picture that was taken during the Apollo missions of a colorized picture of Earth from the perspective of the moon? Like, how did you feel? Like, because I know how I felt seeing that for the first time. Like and people are like, what's so special about this picture? Just like, because you see that and you're like, that's us. You know,
yeah.
That's how small we are. I don't know. I just think it's super cool.
I think for me at least, it just shows how small we are in the grand scheme of things. And it's nothing to be scared of, but it is something to be like fascinated over, that we are all sharing this time on a floating rock in the middle of nowhere. I think that is so freaking cool.
Phantom, your thoughts?
I was definitely one of those people that didn't understand what was so special about the picture. I do now, but I unfortunately do not have a first memory of like wow, that's it. I was definitely
just like seeing fully understanding the moon and just at Earth and its infinitesimally
I feel like that's like
perspective.
the first time I realized that there's no way we can accurately predict how many days should be in a year and that we're going to be off. So March 21st of last year is not going to be the exact same as March 21st of this year. A, because the planet's changing. B, because we're not 100% correct. Like 365 and then every 4 years making it so it's 364, 366, I can't remember, or 356, I can't remember, or 366. So the idea that like things have constantly been shifting ever so slightly, and that like a couple, like I don't even know, probably a couple thousand, like hundreds of thousands of years ago, like March was December or like December was July is kind of a crazy thought. That like that's gonna change. Like eventually, like we'll be like April showers or yeah, April showers bring May flowers. People are like, what the fuck were they talking about? It's snowing right now. Like,
Yeah.
that idea always like just like blows my mind. That's more of what I think of whenever I see like space and I start getting into like those crazy like what's in this drink sort of vibes.
You know what's funny, Bombastic? Because I've never seen Gurren Lagann. Nor have I seen Gundam.
You're gonna kill Robe. Robe's gonna die.
I'm sorry, I've never seen it. Alright. So, I have one last question before we get into our last little segment. And that is, why? Why do you infuse, like, for the most part, like, and this is just like a general question, you know, nothing too special, just, why do you think it's so,
He's mad. You've angered him.
Throw more. I demand more to be thrown.
You demand more. Hold on, I can do more.
I'd like to ask my question first because I muted the sound. That way people can listen to you speak, and I'm just here listening to all of it. Yeah. But, you know, why do you think it's so important to infuse a lot of these personal passions and little things that, you know, you love as in your being into your model? Because clearly it seems that as this is a passion for you, you know, having what looks like a leather jacket, you're having that necklace, you know, it looks like you have a love for music, hence why you have the headphones on. Why is this important, you know, for design for your model?
Because I think it gives an audience it gives them a better lens as to who I am as an individual behind the avatar. Because again, as a VTuber, you're putting on that veil, you're putting on this mask that people won't see your IRL self. So kind of giving them little clues or little, you know, things that they can relate to on your avatar itself. It'll help, you know, have your audience understand you a bit more.
I think that's very well put. Well, not to mention, I feel like if it's something you're looking at and you're using every day, I feel like at that point, you want to make it your own. It's like a car. You use a car, if you have a car, you use a car every day, or relatively speaking, and why not make it comfy? You know,
Exactly.
Wherever you're living, spruce it up with some art. You know, it's adding that blend of personality is truly what makes it your own. You know? Well,
100%.
This is a new segment, not a new segment, this is a new thing that I've started to incorporate with all my guests at the start of the show, or at the start of this year, and I think it's super fun because we get to see a little bit of insight into you, but not only that, it's just fun questions. There are no right answers, there are no wrong answers, it's just say whatever comes to mind and whatever you feel. So these are 10 questions that famous actor, writer, producer James Lipton would ask to celebrities and whomever whenever he had on the show Inside the Actor Studio. So I thought it'd be fun to share that with you. We're not going to bring up the chart today.
He wants to bring up the chart so bad.
For once, I don't want to bring up the chart. Besides, I'll be hanging out in the Discord a couple minutes after stream, so if you guys want to talk to me and tell me how wrong my takes are, you're more than welcome to do that. So without further ado, here are these 10 questions. So, Arrow, what is your favorite word?
Word? I really like the word oof. I say it a lot.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
Oof. You could just say it whenever, like, I don't know, be like, oh, my pet died, be like, oof. Like, I don't know. It's just so
Damn.
versatile.
Hey, grandma died, guys. Oof, says Arrow.
Oof.
With that, what is your least favorite word?
For some reason, everybody always says moist. I don't mind that word. I think the word I wouldn't like. Oh shoot. I don't know. I didn't expect this one.
Loves all words equally.
All words are good in my book.
Wow.
I don't know, probably something goofy like darn it or something like that. I don't know.
Darn.
What's the insult that really got under your skin? Like someone said it to you and you're like, what the hell? Like either like it hit the nail on the head or like it was just like the one that stuck with you the longest.
Oh, hey.
Maybe that'll work.
Hello, Bubble. Sorry that things are robotic. That's just Discord being Discord. I'm sorry about that. It'll go away.
Oh, welcome in, Foo. Hello. Hot diggity dog. You know that's gonna be the phrase.
All right, hot diggity dog.
Who says that?
All right. What turns you on?
All right, ban hot diggity dog.
I see.
No.
What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
Music.
That's a good one.
It's always got to be music. Whenever I need to go and edit, or I just can't sit in a silent room, so I have to put either lo-fi or just some sort of noise on. So music.
With that, what turns you off?
Sorry, just the way the question is phrased. Yep. It's a little concern. I'm just kidding. I would say probably loud noises, and not in like people being loud, more like I grew up in a place where there was constant like construction or somebody's fixing a roof. Just noises like that kind of irk me.
That'll make sense. What is your favorite curse word?
Oh, there's a lot.
Yeah.
But
it's butt. I see.
That's not a curse word.
No.
Doesn't count. Strike it from the record. Try again.
Tell that to the Mormons.
I like fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck's a good word.
Why?
I say it a lot, so why?
After she just talked about phrasing, I like fuck. That's how she left it.
Just because it just rolls off the tongue just so easily, you can just say it whenever.
Fair enough.
Kind of just slips.
So, what sound or noise do you love?
Sound or noise? Oh, the sound of a keyboard, like the typing.
Like a mechanical keyboard?
Like click clack. Yeah.
So like I don't know if you can hear that. Probably not.
Nope.
I purposely get loud keyboards because I just like the sound of them.
So like this.
It's okay. I don't think it picked up on me chanting Phantom talking during that either.
That can you hear this?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's my keyboard.
Click clackies. That's why I got a typewriter, because that's just this like, oh, so pretty. I love that
That's
sound.
it right there.
2F, 1 crap so far. I see. So the inverse of that. What sound or noise do you hate?
Don't at me. I don't really like children crying.
Oh, I hate children crying.
I think that's based. I don't think anyone
So,
does.
This is my feelings towards it. If it's somebody else's child, I hate them crying. I hate the sound of crying children. But if it's like a relative of mine, like my niece, I'm all over the like.
No,
are you?
Then.
Well, yeah.
No, I hate it even more because then I actually care that they're sad instead of just caring that I'm near them.
Wow, I understand. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Ooh, profession other than my. Oh, this is easy. Because I wanted to, but then I realized that I'm really bad at math. But be an astronaut, you know?
Dang, that'd be fun. What profession
would be fun.
would you not like to do?
I think there's a lot I could say for this one. I guess like picking up trash or something like that.
I feel like that'd be so boring.
That would be boring and pretty stinky, and sticky.
And lastly, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
What are you doing here?
Wow. Why is it that...
Who are you and how did you get in my house?
Why is it that for every guest, they always have some, like, God has just some petty or snarky remark? You know, of just, you know, oh, what are you doing here? Or, man, you got 30 seconds. Or just like, you should be down there. I'm like, wow. Neat, huh?
Yeah, he'd be like, what the heck are you doing here? That's definitely what he'd say.
Well, it is 9 o'clock for me. So that means that we have reached the end of our show. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we wrap up here, Arrow?
Thank you so much for having me on, and a shameless plug, but you guys can find me on Twitch and
Go
almost
for it.
every other platform. It's Erosita. It's really simple. And yeah, thank you guys for having me on. It was a blast to talk about anime, hot takes, and space, and why God would not let me in the pearly gates.
No.
Hell yeah.
Before we go, let me plug that real quick. Come on, there we go.
Thank you.
There's that. Go over and support our wonderful guests, and let me get the raid messages going. But Phantom, you know what time it is.
Of course. It's the final question. It's the one question that will determine what happens to all of these hostages that we have in chat. And
hostages, I like that.
Arrow, who do you want to raid, or do you have someone that you would like to raid?
Let me pull up on my side.
Give it a little peruse while Val gets those raid messages going.
Heck yeah.
Here's the wonderful message for our subscribers.
Subscrimbos.
Our subscrimbos. Mother.
Subscribbles?
Not gonna say that on stream.
Yep.
And
they'll never let that one go if you let that out.
And here, I mean, I say it on stream, just not for the VOD.
That's true.
And here is for our wonderful followers. So, while Arrow's getting that set up, thank you guys so much for joining us here today. Most importantly, thank you so much, Arrow, for joining us on the show, because without you and every other guest that has come before you, this show would not be possible. And it wouldn't be possible with the funding from viewers like you, because guess what? We're PBS here. And if you haven't already, go follow our wonderful guest here, and please go follow my wonderful co-host Phantom here. As guest,
do that.
Do it, because he'll do shirtless streams.
That's not true.
That's true.
Oh.
If you donate,
Never once have I taken a shirt off.
if you donate bits, it takes a shirt off.
He is like
I sent
Papa.
it
He
in the,
lies.
You are like Papa. I put it in the stream text chat.
Hell yeah.
On who we should raid.
Hell yeah.
Oh, perfect. I just see he only feeds us booty.
Let's get that going. Roxy, VT playing Lethal Company. Oh heck yeah. Also, before I forget, because once this thing gets initiated, it'll start to be kind of a little wonky. Thank you guys so much for joining. Please join us tomorrow at noon MST, so 12 p.m. MST, or 1 p.m. CST, or 2 p.m. EST, for the next episode of the VOD, where we'll be having Tasagare on our show, who is a Kitsune Fox. So please join us then. We'd love to have you, and if not, have a wonderful and safe weekend. My name is Val. This is the wonderful Phantom Fame, and this has been our wonderful guest, Erosita. So with that said, why don't we leave and raid? I love you all. Let's see you tomorrow.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Get out.
Get out of here.
You guys are more than welcome to go. And if you need to take care of yourself. Ah! Another raid. Whoa, wait. Whoa. Oh my god. What? Hi guys.
All right, let me go and end things on my